What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast coming to you live from the 209.
God damn.
Peeking? Am I peeking?
Yeah. You need to start wearing headphones so you can experience.
No! Coming to you from the SinCal studios here in Modesto, California.
Everybody.
Bringing to you all of the mixed martial arts news, rumors, forum findings, and everything that has to do with the sport.
If it's out there, we're finding it.
We're finding it. I missed the story
last.
last week, and I forgot to bring it. I'm not even going to bring it up. Well, I'm not even going to show you what happened. But did you see the guy that injected all the oil into his arm, so he had the biggest arms he had in an MMA fight and lost in 20 seconds?
Whooped bad.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I almost put that up there.
I thought he was crying, but one of his arms had leaked all over his face. It's sad. Synthol? Is that what they call that?
Something like that. Yeah, they just pump some sort of oil into your arm.
Synthesized.
That can't be good.
No, it's not. But you would, if you look into it. I got in a wormhole one night.
Yep.
Dude, there's a whole culture of people like that.
Yeah,
that's
what
cool.
they do.
It's cool. They do their legs
their
and
butt, their lips. All the girls do all kinds of weird stuff.
One guy's got some type of blood infection because so much of it is leached into his body. Fool.
Anyway, we're going to bring you some recaps
prizes.
of some fights. We're going to preview some fights. We got the big fight coming up this weekend. And, let's get into the first story. Where we
I literally think
off.
this fight could sell itself by itself.
The only thing on the card.
Only thing on the card.
Where we left off from last week, Nate Diaz.
A lot of you already know, and we know you know, but that's what we do.
Has 100% been exonerated. And this fight is happening. Dana White started with, this fight is on. I 100% knew Nate wasn't taking anything to cheat. Hashtag UFC 244 MSG. USADA releases a statement that says on October 24th, Nate Diaz released a public statement regarding a recent out-of-test competition conducted by USADA. UFC has been notified by USADA that the out-of-competition test concluded that LGD 4033 was present in his sample at an amount below the decision concentration level of the substance. Reviewing the out-of-competition test, it is an atypical finding. Further laboratory results.
Are you paying attention? Has
confirmed that 2 bottles of the same organic, vegan, plant-based daily vitamin was contaminated with LGD 4033.
So he's right. Everybody's on steroids, including the plants that they squeezed the juice out of to get this stuff.
Mr. Diaz has not committed any violation of anti-doping, has not been provisionally suspended, is not subject to any sanctions
in this test.
Additionally, the UFC has been informed that independent experts to determine that there's unequivocally no appreciable performance-enhancing or therapeutic benefit from the slightly a limited amount of the substance that may be present in his system, which is roughly 10,000 times lower than one dose. What? Picograms.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you want to go into this wormhole and look at the timeline of how some of this all went down, last year they were saying that they were going to be reviewing the thresholds and the testing methods of what was found in his system.
i.e. protocols, what's a trigger.
Yeah.
Right. And look, so even at this point, it's still not narrowed down.
Jeff Davinsky said on the Rogan podcast when he was talking about the whole Jon Jones incident last year, that they are waiting on a report to come out so they can talk about the levels. Because we talk about, are they testing the levels too small now? Are they, because they're showing up picograms in their system? Should that be a red flag?
Dirty Head's been singing about this. Check the level. Just telling you.
So I mean, this thing's been going on for quite a long time. In fact, they actually changed the thresholds at the beginning of August, but did not make any of those public. So that's when Neil Magny was released, was released of all his sanctions, and basically they said that he was exonerated and that he was done. So then they went back to, I think what this comes down to is and we talked about this a little bit before the show, is that Nate Diaz, basically USADA came to him and go, hey, look, man, you have this in your system. It's an atypical finding, which means that you're not going to get in trouble for it. We don't even think that you have this in your system.
Let's keep this between
us. We'll keep it quiet. There's no way that we're going to stop this fight. You have such a small amount that it's probably because of a tainted supplement. He said he shipped them $800 worth of supplements.
He's like, check it right now.
All vegan supplements that he gets from Whole Foods. And what's kind of crazy is, didn't he also say, I don't take supplements? I don't really take supplements.
He's
$800 is a lot of supplements.
No, he said that everything he does is vegan.
Right, but he shipped him everything. His vitamins.
Right.
He shipped absolutely everything he takes. And he said it was $800, which they didn't return. They had to go pick up in New York when he landed. And And he basically was like, yo, fuck the money. Fuck what you say. Make sure everybody knows I'm clean because I do not want this to come out afterwards when I win this fight or I lose this fight, when I'm in a contract negotiation, when I'm trying to talk about my next fight, when I'm trying to figure out about the money. You know what I mean? He was like, fuck that. You guys clear me now. I'm not having this held over my head later where they're like, oh, we're not going to say anything. And then, hey, Nate, you know that next fight you just turned down? How about you take it or we're going to tell everybody about those tests? He's like, no, fuck that. I want it. Let it be known right now there's no way that I ever cheat. It's power play, and good for Nate Diaz. I think this also, immediately Tom Lawler and Josh Barnett were like, we are really happy for Nate Diaz. We are really happy that they can make this happen now and that they can exonerate people and they can work this fast. But what about us? Are you going to give me back my name? Are you going to give me back everything that we did? Both those guys got out, man.
Right, and like I was saying, they could be looking at class action lawsuit.
There's definitely a possibility. Like I said, Nate Diaz saying, fuck the money, fuck this. Figure yourself out a new card in 8 days. That's power play, and good on him. He even said he took double the amount of supplements when he got them back. He's like, I knew there wasn't anything in that shit. I'm taking it anyway.
No, well, they said that it is in there, right? It's tainted.
I know. So it's like, Nate, shut up, dude. Shut up. What are you doing?
I took twice as much.
Don't tell him you're taking twice. He goes, nah, man, it's a conspiracy. I don't know if this is necessarily a good idea. But anyway, so the fight is going down just like I said it would last week. There's no way that they're going to call this fight off. And they immediately cleared him, and everything's good to go. So good for him. Got on his plane. If you follow some of his, I think it's one of his trainers, they got on a private plane. The UFC sent him, had the big old Team Diaz red carpet laid out for him and everything. So, the fight is on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Even though we had some trolls, and I know they were trolling trying to get us to talk or argue with them on our, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. But don't think I'm not going to come back to that post after stuff goes down and then taunt you if we win.
Jorge Masvidal had his open workouts in New York yesterday. Was it yesterday? What's today? Thursday? So Wednesday. Open workouts are on Wednesday. He had his open workouts. He invited fans to come up. Now, if you know Jorge Masvidal, he started in backyard fighting for Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice would pick him and pick other people and have them fight in Miami, Florida, in backyards, alleys, at a boat dock.
Oh yeah, I put this out on our page too.
Yeah, so you can watch those fights. They're on our page right now. Some of the old Masvidal fights from back in the day, the Kimbo Slice days.
Yeah, because he was a street fighter.
Yep,
I've known about him for a while,
for a long time. Yeah, for sure. But so he basically kind of did the same thing at his open workouts. He was grabbing fans.
I was digging it.
Gloving them up and telling them to go ahead and box it out on stage. They were only allowed body shots. And it actually went on for quite some time, a lot longer than I thought it would. But ultimately...
But did you see the people running around in the background is this something we should be letting on?
Yeah, what's happening?
He's
what's happening?
Well, I'm not going to tell him to stop. And they had to get an official person to be like, stop
Reed
that
Harris
shit now.
Reed Harris walked up on stage and was like, all right, guys, that's enough. We're done. That's it. Oh, well, we got 3 other guys that already fought, man. What about us? Nope, we're done. We're good.
And what we know with
they
credentials...
could have faced definitely a big lawsuit on that. Those are guys that no waivers were signed.
Right.
It was just yeah, you want a fan and you want a fan.
Yeah.
Let's fight each other.
And from what we know by being there with identification, you had to find the guy who had the hologram.
Yeah, the hologram guy.
Hologram guy, he's an official. He's
an
officially official.
I was digging it though, man. It's kind of funny. Instead of I like that.
How many lawsuits come from this, you think?
None.
None?
Nobody's gonna. What are you gonna do? Sue Jorge Masvidal?
No, UFC. They're loaded.
I got hurt, even though I jumped on stage.
All right. Did you know Trump was a clamper?
Is that right? It is right.
That's right.
That's pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah, so this came out on Twitter just recently. They're saying that Donald Trump, president-elect, will be at UFC 244.
Right
he
on.
will be at Madison Square Garden watching this fight. How sad is Colby Covington right now? He did not come to his
What do you mean right now? Colby Covington is sad.
He sent his son to go watch it. He is not coming to Colby's event at the end of the year.
Right.
He's going to watch the baddest motherfucker belt.
Will Colby be there?
I don't know. But I just think it's funny that...
Yeah.
At first, when I saw the headline, it was like, Trump in at 244. I was like, he's at least 260. He at 244. He's close to 240,
Like
275.
Yeah, Trump is the disc fish. You look at him in the front, he doesn't look that wide. When he turns to leave, you're like, oh, damn. God rest in peace, John Witherspoon.
I think that it's going to be really interesting. Logistically, we've talked to a bunch of people. This is a nightmare for the UFC.
No, I'm telling you, we're going to see the Pope
Garden.
Mobile. Could you imagine a little Trump in a Pope Mobile? He's going to look like a weird Easter egg. You know those sugar eggs you used to get?
It's orange and gold on top. It's got the blue and the red.
Somebody's going to go, who put a Cheeto in an Easter egg? What the fuck is going on?
It's going to be interesting to see if he actually makes it. We do know The Rock is going to be there presenting the BMF belt, which they showed off today. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't get the picture in time. But I'm just saying, UFC, why could you not use your own font? The Sofa Chrome. The Sofa Chrome font that you use for the Ultimate Fighter and your own logos. Why couldn't you use Sofa Chrome on your own belt? Instead, it looks like Times New Roman. It looks dumb. First of all, the belt is funny to begin with because it all started with Nate Diaz at a press conference saying, yo, I'm the baddest motherfucker in the UFC. I don't know why other bad motherfuckers don't want to fight me. Like, that's the belt we need to be fighting for. My belt, the baddest motherfucker belt. And then he said, somebody needs to get me that belt. Seriously, like yesterday. He's laughing about it. So the UFC's like, we can make money on this. This is going to be great. Yeah, I like it. It's a novelty and it's a one-time fun thing. I like it. But come on, man. Use a different font than Times New Roman on your belt.
Okay, but did you see how many UFC fighters
$50,000 for that belt?
used the term bad motherfucker this week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's trendy.
This bad motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
No, you're not the bad motherfucker. No, this bad motherfucker
I'm already
right
saying,
here.
Nate Diaz already defended that bad motherfucker belt against USADA.
Yeah.
That already happened. He said, hey, guess what? Either you fix this or I don't fight. Bad motherfucker.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I watched it this week on Netflix. Dolomite is the bad motherfucker.
I watched half of it last night before I fell asleep. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty
good. They're about to make the movie. That's where I'm at.
Right. It brought me back to where I'm like, I was happy through the whole movie and laughing the whole fucking time.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it is.
It is pretty good. Moving on from there, speaking of UFC 244, we also have, is this the co-main? I believe it's the co-main event where we have Mr. Kelvin Gastelum going up against Darren Till. There's a little kerfuffle, if you will, at the weigh-ins.
Legal has reviewed the statement earlier that you made in pre-show. You can't make that statement.
Oh, I'm going to make that statement. It's going to happen.
You're going to kill him, dude.
This is what I'm saying. There's a little kerfuffle that happened in the weigh-ins.
I don't even think kerfuffle was cleared earlier. It wasn't.
Kelvin Gastelum got on the scale. He had to strip because he was going to come in really close to the weight limit, right? So they put up the towel. Now, I thought someone told me, and I believe it was either Eric from MMA News, who may have heard it from John Morgan, who may have heard it from the UFC. Somebody told me.
Are we REO Speedwagon here? Fucking heard it from a friend.
6 degrees of separation here, my friend, of Kevin Bacon. This is 6 degrees of Eric Kowal.
Eric Kowal.
Eric Kowal, 6 degrees of connection here. From what I was told, they were supposed to have the hoop, right? You have the hoop.
Take it to the hoop.
You're going to look kind of like Ralph Macchio in Karate Kid, where he was the bath scene. You know what I mean? You have the whole hoop. Instead, they just did the towel again. Now, there was no towel gate. We had no DC. He was not touching the towel.
No.
However, it does appear like he kind of leans on his coach.
Shoulder lean.
With his elbow.
Shoulder lean.
Like
Gastelum can't make weight, so what you do, he's going to shoulder lean.
Just going to kind of put my weight on this guy over here, so I'm not quite on the scale. He came suddenly 2 pounds under. Weighed in at 184. Watch the videos. They're out there. Go for it. I know Submission Radio has them. I know MMA Junkie has them. I know Middle Easy has them.
And reviews expressed by Brandon Dodge are his views only.
I'm just saying,
his opinion.
Me, when I first saw the video, I was like, well, man, if that's a commissioner, like, don't you think he would be like, nah, he didn't lean on me. But it wasn't a commissioner. It was his coach.
Oh.
There's definitely his coach is not going to say, he didn't lean on me. And if he does say he didn't lean on me, it still looks suspect because it's his coach. Just, to me, it looks suspect. Now, we will see what happens.
Right.
It looked like he made the lean when the athletic commissioner was like, what's the weight over there? Let's look at the scale. Don't pay attention to what he's actually doing behind you. Let's look at the scale, both of us. Do both of you need to look at the scale? And not only one guy's reading the scale. Come on.
No, because if one looked the other way, then there's no what do you call that? Reasonable deniability.
We will see what ends up happening here. I don't think anything's ever going to come of it, but it will be out there, known as Elbowgate for UFC 244 for the rest of the time.
Brandon Dodge is the only one that's got Elbowgate.
Tell me he's not leaning.
I already looked it
Tell
up.
me he's not leaning.
There's not even a hashtag yet.
Elbow. No, I'm not the only one. Somebody out there has Elbowgate. It's out there.
Okay.
You look for it.
Okay.
Speaking of weight cuts, let's talk about Aspen Ladd, who we've talked about multiple times on this show for not being able to make weight or having trouble.
Asponian Ladisky
Has had issues making weight. Now, the California State Athletic Commission has removed her suspension because she came in at 150 this week during an administrative weigh-in. That is much closer. Normally, she'd be weighing 155 about now, getting to her weight cut for December.
And how many
She's
other
already down
fighters
to 150.
in the UFC are having this administrative weigh-in?
Almost everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody that they do this throughout.
Okay.
Throughout the
so she's
calendar.
not the only one having to meet this.
No.
Okay.
She has to. You have to be within a certain percentage come fight day. But remember, she's had trouble struggling with weight, so the California State Athletic Commission said, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're going to start finding people. We're going to start calling off fights. Aspen Ladd came out and said, look, we all know how it works in California, and their focus is on weight. We've even had people avoid fighting because of it. We were prepared for repercussions after what happened. I just don't know if we were prepared to receive so much attention. But we've handled it. It's in the past. I'm looking forward to my next fight. California State Athletic Commission's decision to suspend her license is not rare. You know, they've estimated that they currently have notes to around 60 other athletes regarding concerns over weight classes that they compete in. It just seemed to receive more attention because she is a higher profile fighter.
I don't know. I'm not even mad about her weight. I'm mad about her performance after this whole time of us waiting for her to fight. And again, I'm not a fighter, and don't everybody, well, you never fought ever in your whole entire life. It's like, right, but I'm not at that caliber. I'm not trying to be at that caliber. I'm not taking a space where somebody else who is at that caliber could be fighting.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from there, a little bit of update.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Just to let me hang out.
I mean, I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
All right. Remember how I feel. If you're not as upset about something as I am.
Why are you not upset about the Times New Roman belt? I'm upset.
Because I am against you on that, my friend. Like you said,
You think the belt looks good?
No.
You think
it could look better?
Thank you.
Okay.
For $50,000, it better look better.
Right. It better look better. You better.
They could have made it look like the parental advisory thing, like they're using right now for the poster.
Straight out of bad motherfucker.
It literally could have just said BMF, like fucking Samuel L. Jackson's wallet.
You know what? I believe because didn't Cerrone already have a BMF belt for his little fight ring? Because that's Bad Motherfucking Ranch, right? And they had bad motherfucking fights?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he has copyright, and now they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're paying him. Anyway, a little update on the Walt Harris
Sorry
case.
for going back to that.
Walt Harris.
That's what we do.
Obviously, is not going to be fighting in December. He has actually pulled out completely with the fight against Alistair Overeem coming up December 7th. Unfortunately, this is because his daughter is missing. Anaya Blanchard has been missing since last Wednesday. Walt Harris has asked for help on social media. Dana White, the Alabama governor, Jon Jones, and MMA manager Ali Abadi-Diaz have all offered monetary rewards.
Why do I get tickled when people say that guy's name?
For any valuable information. I think it's up to like $1 million right now. I know it's at least over $100,000 in rewards.
From what we both read it doesn't at this point it doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. The Auburn police actually put together something today, and they said evidence from her vehicle recovered in Montgomery was examined by the police department and forensic sciences, and now determined that she was harmed and is considered to be a victim of foul play. Again, they are asking for any information to be routed to the Auburn Division Police Department or the Montgomery Police Department. Yeah, it's very, very sad. Hopefully they get some answers soon.
I mean, yeah. And I've said it before on this show, the amount of people who are coming up missing in America is crazy right now.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
It's nuts.
Moving on from there, we have Conor McGregor. We had talked about this now for the past, I don't know.
Shit, we got Tommy Ruloff watching and Mandime Tony Pasalagua.
Ooh. I just want to play it. Can I play it?
Fuck the white shirts. Yeah, play it.
I think it'll screw up the sound quality that we got going on here, and it's so piercingly loud that
Don't call me out, Tommy.
It's going to be great.
I hope Tony... No, Tony's might be gone now.
I don't care. There we go. This is just for Tony. I hope you can hear that while we're talking. Conor McGregor back in the news. When has he left the news? He always likes to keep himself in the headlines. This time, though, we are talking once again about when he punched an old man at a bar in Dublin. He has pled guilty for those actions and was ordered to pay basically $1,100. He was told to pay $1,100, and the man, Desmond Khana, has decided not to pursue the case any further as long as there is a public apology, which Conor McGregor said, what I did was very wrong, and I'd like to apologize again to the injured party and today before the court and assure you that nothing of this nature will ever happen again. So he's let off with an $1,100 fine.
But he's taken a guilty charge.
Yeah, it's guilty. But
Okay.
they're not going to pursue it anymore, which means, he was looking at potentially like 6 months in jail, and because the guy's not going to press charges, they've let that go.
So I don't understand how you plead guilty and you're not charged, though.
Because the guy drops the case.
Okay.
He pleads guilty, and they go, okay. They look at what compensation are we looking for? I'm going to drop the case.
Right. Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
we're going to fine him at least $1,100.
Okay. All right.
So Conor McGregor, now does this clear a little bit more things for the UFC to possibly push the Cowboy Cerrone fight that they're talking about January? Dana White was on the street.
There's a couple other things out there, man.
Dana White was on the street this week. There was a reporter from Miami News, I believe, that went and talked to him as he was coming out of somewhere, TMZ style, and asked him specifically about that. And he flat out said, we haven't even started negotiations. For him to come out and announce a date is ridiculous. That is the fight that we want and that we do want to look towards, but we have not even started negotiations on either end.
Right.
So I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of his court cases that are pending and investigations that are pending that we've talked about here in the past.
Yeah.
When in fact the reporter was one of the guys that announced or told Dana White, hey, did you hear today that he pled guilty and that he's being let off? And he's like, I did not, but at least that's one less thing that we have to worry about.
Checking the boxes.
Checking the boxes. Moving on from there, we have Cat Zingano has decided to sign with Bellator. I'm excited for Cat Zingano.
I told you once one door closes, at least somebody's footlocker opens up.
She is 10-4 in MMA overall. She had 8 fights in the UFC. Made her debut at the UFC 17 finale. Got the fight of the night over Misha Tate. Won with a third round TKO. This is good for Kat. She's going to be in the featherweight division. I'm excited to see what she can do. She immediately tweeted to the girls, "Are we here for dinner? Or are we here to dance?" Whatever that is.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm excited. So
that's kind of
no debut date yet, but I'm excited.
That's one of those double entendres.
Yeah.
Huh.
A little bit.
Meow, Cat.
Speaking about contracts, Diego Sanchez is currently without one. He is currently
No,
it's yes.
no.
Yes. Cartwheels.
No.
Lots of cartwheels. He is a free agent. He has not parted ways with the UFC. He just doesn't have a contract. Take that as you will. Recently,
Take from that what you want.
Dave Ludock said that he thought was reaching out to him to get a Lethway fight. Diego Sanchez, look, I'm done with the UFC. Was never ever spoken words out of my mouth. As far as my contract is done, yes, I am a free agent. My contract is at an end, but I have not completely separated ways. The UFC had wanted me to fight in Australia, which most likely mean on that October 5th card that happened in Melbourne earlier this month. But right now, I was going back and forth to get a fight. They offered me that fight, but the timing was off. It just felt rushed and pressured. I love the opponent, but the timing was just going to be rushed, and it put me at a disadvantage. It was not the fight I wanted to take during a transitional period of my life because he has recently left Jackson Wink, as we talked about in the past. So he's waiting with Sean Shelby, and he says that a Showtime Pettis fight would be interesting, and he's going to see what ends up happening there.
Yeah.
He also said that he was actually pretty happy with the call-out that he received this weekend, which we'll get to a little bit later when we review some fights. Moving on from there, last little bit of news before we get into all of our recaps. Andre Touchy Fili has a new tattoo.
If you're watching this right now, let us know how you feel, either on YouTube or Facebook. And if you're listening on the SoundCloud,
go and look this up
on our sound. Or if you're listening to the audio version, email us at splitdecisionmma@gmail.com. What do you think about guys getting tattoos like this of other guys on their body? I don't care if they're famous or whatever.
He has other tattoos. He has Emmett Kelly, which is a famous clown. He has, I'm pretty sure, Daniel Day-Lewis as this character, Bill the Butcher. He has you can look at him. He's pretty covered in tattoos.
But I get characters.
But now
he's
got Urijah Faber tattooed on his leg. And it's actually a really good tattoo.
It's a high definition. I personally don't think
It's a portrait tattoo.
Yeah. It's a good high definition tattoo.
Do you think it was I can understand what you're saying, that maybe it's not the best portrait you should have chose.
Right.
But at least it's well done.
Yeah, I'm guessing the picture that he was given looked like that.
It looked just like that, yeah.
Right.
He said that he not only got this tattoo for Urijah Faber, but all other Team Alpha Male family that helped raise and guide me on my journey. He is my brother's keeper.
I get that. I get it, but how do you feel? And the tattoo itself looks like it's mad to be on his leg.
It's yelling.
It's like, man!
And it's spitting. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Or are those lights behind him? Is it spittle or lights? I can't tell.
No, I think it's coming off the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And he has a lisp. Stop it. Let's go.
Going into the recaps that were this past week, we had PFL wraps up their second season.
Tommy saying definite no on the tat.
What's that?
Tommy said definite
no on the tat?
Definite.
PFL wraps up its second season. The 2019 season is in the books. We are going to have your championship. 6 fights, all for a belt, all for $1 million, going down New Year's Eve. That will be on ESPN2 and Hulu. But right now we have Ali Aizavev gets the win over Denis Glostadov. Jairus Rochalt gets the win over Kevin Tiller. And Maliel Sodori gets the win over Bazaget Altavev. Jordan Johnson over Rashid Yushaparov. Francimar Barroso over Alex Nesson. And Dennis Galtstuff over Shitari Ishii. So if you move on and you look at the bracket there, your championship, which we will talk way closer to New Year's Eve. We have a women's lightweight, men's welterweight, featherweight, lightweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. All champions are going to be crowned.
So what do I win?
ESPN2.
So what do I win when this is all over?
What was it? Do we know?
I don't know.
Because they made it 2 years?
All available funds in our account.
Okay.
How much do I owe you guys?
Yeah. Because they made it 2 years.
No, because we'll be going into the third. They're still in solid financial state. I've been following that end of it
really closely. I'm just saying.
Because I'm going to tell you people, I've loved the fights and everything, but what we have to do is constantly review who's getting involved, who's signing up, who wants to be part of it next year. And that all looks solid right now.
Yeah, looking good. Good. PFL.
They actually got a killer production crew. Have you seen some of the videos they've been putting out?
They might be having a third season.
It's not a might at this point.
Have they announced it?
Okay. and I know better. I know better to put the cart before the horse. I do.
Things have happened.
Yeah.
Things have happened. Moving on from there.
Yeah, like the riverboat fight on the Delta.
The floating cage.
The floating cage.
Just so you know, folks, if you are in the 209 area, if you are in Northern California, there was an MMA promotion that was going to try to have an event out on a lake on a floating barge.
Actually, a large river.
On a large river, not even a lake, huh?
Yeah.
On the river with a floating cage. And then you could park your boats around and watch it.
Yeah, and you could striper fish on the outside if you wanted
If you're way on the outside. And I believe they had the thing where you can plug your boat into another boat and so everybody got the same sound.
Oh, get out of here. Like we used to do at the theater or at the drive-in?
At the drive-in, yeah.
Nice.
Gets the super surround sound. Anyway, moving on from there, we have Bellator happened over the weekend. We had 2 events. First and foremost, the girl we are following for the whole show, the whole 2 weeks, Robressa Brigman, a.k.a. Orion Star, lost first round TKO.
Who'd have thought she got pounded?
She got pounded in the face.
In the face.
First round, 448. I don't know if this is the last you'll see of her. I mean, you can always subscribe to whatever she is selling.
This is the last time you've seen her in Bellator, but this is not the last time you've seen her.
Yeah, most likely.
I think she will. You think for what she does, do you think that Invicta would even look at her?
I think she's still too much of an amateur, or excuse me, she only has, this is now her first fight. She's 0-1 in professional MMA. Fight. So I think it's going to be a little bit of time before she works her way to a bigger league. Now, she was supposed to originally fight for another smaller organization. I believe she going to have no problem getting fights there. Your main card,
not as an amateur anymore. She can't.
No, she can't. Yeah, a pro fight. It's going to be pro. On your main card, Jake Hager, a.k.a. Jack Swagger, gets a no contest over Anthony Garrett due to accidental groin strike. Did they look accidental?
Did he die? Did he die?
It's a pretty big knee, man.
I know, but I mean that's why we wear cups. That's why we wear guards.
Lara Joanne gets the win over Beck Rawlings. Beck Rawlings loses to a submission knee bar. What did we say? You're coming back from doing just bare knuckle. You're going back into MMA. You gotta have MMA.
Surprised.
You gotta have MMA.
What I did on last
like
week's
her
show,
as a bare knuckle boxer. I think she does well there. She is better on her feet than she is on the ground.
Right.
We've said that since we saw her on The Ultimate Fighter.
If you go back,
and even in Invicta, we said that.
Right. If you go back to last week's show, I tried to tell you kind of what was going to happen without throwing his. I love Beck Rollins.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody says
like
about
her style.
I like everything about her.
I like her personality.
I mean, you could just tell.
I don't know if necessarily. I heard a rumor she had signed with Sucker Punch Entertainment as new management. They pushed her to get back into MMA instead of staying in bare knuckle, and I don't know if this is necessarily.
And
the
I'm
right
sure
choice.
a paycheck was involved.
Of course,
right.
Ed Ruth gets the win over Jason Jackson. Phil Davis gets the win over Carl Albert, and Frank Mir gets the win over Roy Nelson. Scott Coker saying Roy Nelson should possibly hang him up. How do you feel about that?
I felt this 3 fights ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Roy Nelson is done?
Yes.
The guy, let's look at this record real quick. We'll bring this up. He has had 41 fights. He is 23-18. He has lost his last 4 in a row. Yeah. Other than the win over Javi Ayala, he is pretty spotty since probably 2013.
Right. That's what I'm saying. After he lost to Meathead,
you were like, all right, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. Roy Nelson, just hang him up, go teach.
Yeah, because you could tell that Meathead even went easy on him. He's like, I don't want to kill this guy.
Moving on from there, we had Bellator 232. This was all on DAZN. You had Kevin Ferguson Baby Slice Jr. Or is it Kevin Baby Slice Ferguson Jr.?
I'm just telling you right now, he beat the shit out of the back of that guy's head.
Baby Slice gets a
there's
contest.
There's no other way to look at it.
Originally, he had a win over Craig Campbell. However, the Athletic Commission, looking at the reviews, decided to turn this over to a no contest due to illegal blows 38 seconds into round 1, elbows to the back of the head, and a lot of them.
So what happens to that ref?
What do you mean what happens to the ref?
He needs to be. He should have called that.
True, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that they're definitely.
I like how you're ready to argue.
No, I'm just thinking. I understand. Like he needs to go through more training. Is what you're saying. He needs to get his. We've had bad.
I'm not saying suspend him. How about a written reprimand and a desk memo?
I mean, no fine, no suspension. No, you got to take the next event off.
Just I want it out there. That's like you missed some shit.
Like this is pretty bad.
Yeah, like when you're in loss prevention and someone steals a TV.
You missed some shit.
You missed some shit.
I mean, they walked out with the TV. You didn't even see it. It was like just walking out. I know he walked up to the self-checkout, just counted 10 Mississippi, and just walked on out. That's not how that works, folks.
Hey, I'm not going to lie, though. One time I was buying paint somewhere, and I set the paint up there, and the guy was on his personal phone, and he literally said to the guy, got some asshole here. So I was like, okay, I waited 2 more minutes. I grabbed the 2 5s of paint, and I walked out.
Allegedly.
Never. No, I did. It's 7 past just 7 years ago.
Okay, making sure you're past the statute of limitations.
We're
Manny
good.
Moro gets the win over Newell in a split decision. Patrick Mix gets the win over Isaiah Chapman. Paul Daly gets the win over Sadawa. TKO round 2, minute 30. Look like a beast.
Yeah.
Look like a beast. And your new welterweight champion, winner of the Grand Prix and $1 million, Douglas Lima over Rory McDonald in a unanimous decision. How did you think that happened?
Everything went great. I think that was awesome. and neither man is a loser because Rory McDonald himself is already a millionaire, and now he is too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because Rory McDonald's
good for Douglas Lima, man.
Yeah, but McDonald already has a bigger brand.
I gotta believe he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had your UFC event, UFC Maya versus Askren. This was on at 4 in the morning? 5 in the morning?
Not at my house. I watched it at noon.
What time was this fight on? It was in Singapore.
I'm saying I watched it around noon.
This was on ESPN Plus, which if you don't have ESPN Plus, you better fucking get it because we have a big fight coming up, as in tomorrow. But you should have ESPN Plus already.
Just follow Twitter. Just follow Facebook. Somebody will have it.
Come on, man. Looking on your card there, on your main card, you have Muslim. Salakov gets the win over Loreno Stapoli. Surreal Gain gets the win over Donatel Mayers. Benel Delarouche gets the win over Frank Camacho. Stevie Ray over Michael Johnson. And Damian Maya, technical submission, rear naked choke, round 3 over Ben Askren. Then turns around and calls out Diego Sanchez. That's the Diego Sanchez call-out we were talking about a little bit earlier. Do you like that fight for Diego? Diego Sanchez versus Damian Maia. Do you like that fight in general?
I'm just done seeing Damian Maia.
You think he should retire? You think he should get one more shot at gold?
I don't think about retiring.
One more shot at gold. One more shot at gold.
I'm so lukewarm about a Diego Sanchez Damian Maia fight.
Do you think a title shot is warranted? The winner of Colby Usman?
Maybe no. Do you?
Yeah. Why not? He's worked hard for it, man. Give him that one last chance at gold.
You're talking Ben. You really looked at this fight as he worked hard. Ben Askren was somebody hard to defeat.
I mean, the thing is he's already lost to Colby and Usman. Right?
But I was
already
so
lost to both
let down by Ben Askren's performance.
He lost to Tyron Woodley. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he just doesn't get that extra chance at gold. Yeah, Ben Askren.
See, I'm glad. You're.
I gotta start processing, start looking, start thinking. The Ben Askren
Can I rework that deal about my money out of the account? Oh wait, no, never mind.
What money?
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Askren. We had a couple friends and fans online say, Ben Askren, what kind of bullshit is this? This guy sucks. Why did he have so much hype coming into the UFC? Let me remind you that the guy came into the UFC undefeated. Okay. Not only did he come in undefeated, he was a 2-organization champion. This is a guy who had the 1 championship belt and the Bellator championship belt, both of which he never lost. He walked away from them. He was 17-0 coming into the UFC. Or excuse me, 18-0 coming into the UFC.
And Brandon gets no joy in defending Ben Askren.
I do not.
I'm just telling you.
The guy is boring to me. If you watched his career, those 18 fights before the UFC, in my opinion, he's had 1 or 2 fights that were actually exciting, and I was like, oh man, this guy's legit. This is a guy that's been calling out GSP since he started in Bellator. That he was the guy. That his wrestling was 100 times better. That his fight style was primarily wrestling. He's not an exciting fighter to watch. Dana White used to bag on him so much that that's what Ambien takes to go to sleep. Go to sleep as they watch a Ben Askren fight. However, they had to deal with 1 championship. They switched fighters. They gave them a couple. They got Ben Askren. He's now here to prove that he was the best welterweight in the world. He was saying, I'm here to prove. And this goes further to show, in my opinion, the UFC has the best competition. While other organizations have really good fighters, top guys that are dominant. You got Bibiano Fernandez at bantamweight over in 1. You got all these guys. You got Ryan Bader making a great run over there in Bellator.
Right.
These are big guys. These are tough guys. These are guys that are fighting and doing very, very well. However, I do believe this further cements that the UFC has and cultivates the best competition, because we see Ben Askren go up against UFC competition and has not done necessarily well. Mind you, he's only on a 2-fight loss streak. However, everyone talks about the Robbie Lawler fight being stopped. Herb Dean talks about the Robbie Lawler fight being stopped, and he reffed the bout. Right. I would like to see at this point, before Ben Askren is given the door, I would like to see a rematch against Robbie Lawler, or I would like to see I think it's Burns. I'm trying to remember his name right now. I'd like to see that fight. That guy is, I think, at number 15 right now in the rankings that don't matter, which allegedly are going to be changing soon. I know we've talked about that a couple times.
Right. We're going to have somebody on there, right?
Gilbert Burns. Yeah, we are going to have somebody. Gilbert Burns.
So right now, I'm going to start getting lobbying money together.
Is that how that works?
I guess.
That's how it works.
Right?
Yeah.
We have to buy a lot of wings.
A lot of wings. Yeah, so I would like to definitely see that happen. We have Vincent Luke also up there. If he gets the win over Wonder Boy, that would be a good fight. I also think that if Darren Till win or lose against Kelvin Gastelum, that would be a good fight. Anyway, yeah. So we'll move on from there. We have Invicta 38 going down tonight. Is this tonight or tomorrow? Today the 1st? Today's the 1st.
Today's the 1st.
It's going down tonight. We have Invicta 38. This was supposed to be a 2 title fights. However, Karina Rodriguez has missed weight, and now this is not going to be for the belt. So you have on your I believe it's the Kanak. No, nobody's going for a belt in this one then.
No.
Man. All right. So we have Vanessa Porto was looking for the vacant flyweight champion to go up against Karina Rodriguez. However, this was going to be for this was going to be for Vanessa Porto's flyweight belt. Karina Rodriguez has missed weight. This is no longer a title bout. I believe the bout will still happen. Kanaka Murata is going up against Emily Ducote for the vacant strawweight belt. So yes, there is only one belt on the line now. Make sure you check this out. This is also on Fight Pass. So if you already signed up for Fight Pass because you're going to be watching the big event that is UFC 244,
then go ahead and watch that.
Go ahead and watch that tonight.
Slide it
Get
on
yourself
in.
a nice set of fights before the fight.
Yeah.
It's basically like a whole nother undercard. Whole nother undercard. UFC 244 goes down tomorrow. UFC Madison Square Garden, UFC New York. UFC number 500 legally, technically live event.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Isn't that cool?
How come they're not making a big deal about that?
Masvidal,
Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
Masvidal versus Diaz. This is for the baddest motherfucker belt.
BMF.
On your Fight Pass
From
prelims.
The 209.
Julio Artis going up against Hakeem Dawodo. Lyman Good against Chance Rinconter.
And you guys trying to make this an East Coast, West Coast thing? We can do that shit.
Caitlin Chugagan going up against Jennifer Maia. Again, this is all on Fight Pass. On ESPN2, Andrei Arlovsky going against a name that there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce because there are way too many consonants. Jahrzeno Rosenstruck.
Okay.
You're not even going to attempt it? You're going to just leave me out there?
Rosenstruck.
Yeah?
You don't want me to pronounce the Jarzino Rosenstruck.
All right.
There you go.
That sounds good to me. Brad Tavares going up against Edmund Shabrazan.
Sham Bam Bamina.
Shane Burgos going against Makawan Akahamani.
Yeah.
And Corey Anderson going up against Johnny Walker, all on ESPN2. Your main event on the bad motherfucking card.
Did you see Johnny Walker trying to come up there on stage during his, I don't know if it was pre-fight or whatever, fucking fumbling all over the place, dropped his phone, damn near tripped over the stage. This same guy right there, like, dislocated his shoulder.
Did not see any
celebrating.
of this.
Didn't
see any of this. On your main card for the bad motherfucker card, you got Kevin Lee going up against Gregor Gillespie. I got Gillespie.
You got Gillespie on that?
Yep.
You're taking over.
Instead of Motown Phenom.
I'm
taking
you don't
Gillespie.
Like Phenom? I don't like Kevin Lee, so I would take Gillespie too.
All right. So then we got Derek Lewis going up against Blagnov Ivanov.
I'm with the Russians.
I'm going Lewis.
Are you?
Gotta go Lewis.
Come on,
man.
Ivanov.
I'm going Lewis.
Change his name to Jack Ivanov.
All
right.
Steven Wonderboy Thompson going up against Vincent Luke. I'm taking Luke for the upset.
Yeah?
It's just dead silence.
Because I'm like the upset guy. I gotta take Steven.
Are you upset that I'm taking Luke?
No, but I gotta take Thompson.
You don't have to.
Because we're both already on Gillespie. I went opposite for Ivanov.
Yeah.
Now I'm going Thompson.
Okay.
This next one's gonna decide. Who are you taking?
Kelvin Gastelum against Darren Till. I'm taking Kelvin with the shoulder roll.
Good. I'm taking Till because I think Till's gonna actually surprise a lot of people, and this is gonna get done pretty quick.
You think so?
I don't know.
I mean, I think Kelvin with the shoulder roll, man. He's got more tricks. He's got more tricks.
Lean. Whatever. He's fat. That's why he had to lean on somebody.
And, of course, your main event, Jorge Masvidal from the 305, going up against Nate Diaz from the 209.
And you know where we're at.
You know where we're at. We're always Team Diaz.
You know where we at.
Always Team Diaz. In fact, Nate Diaz Has a Posse is not only a sticker that you can pick up here at the studio anytime until we run out. Nate Diaz Has a Posse is about to be a shirt.
Yeah, this can turn into a shrine right here. We're going to put bong loads all across the bottom.
Constantly burning.
With little fish bubblers in it.
We need to turn this into our own Jobu.
No, a Jobu.
This is going to be our own Jobu. This is our Nate Diaz bobblehead. We're just going to put a little joint across it. We're going to light it every time he fights as a little tribute to him.
Jobu said, fuck you.
I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah, so this will be a shirt up on Shirtsicle, shirtsicle.com/SDMMA. Pick yourself up a Nate Diaz Has a Posse shirt. Support the 209. They make all the way up from XS, from really little shirts to 5X.
Wait for getting in late, Blake Carmichael.
Up to 5X in this shirt. Pick yourself up an Adidas shirt.
But we don't have tall, though. That's what Matt's telling me.
MMA.
We don't have 5XT.
No, they don't have T, but they do have big.
Right. Well,
So,
these
small
tall
guys to big guys.
These tall guys is going to show off their belly button. Which with Matt, it's sexy.
It is. It works for him. It works for him. I got Diaz in this fight. Here's why. Number one, I would give the slight edge to Jorge Masvidal.
Just a slight edge?
Which is blasphemy for me to say since he's from the East Coast. I like Jorge Masvidal. I've always liked Jorge Masvidal watching those fights that he used to fight in backyards for Kimbo Slice. However, I think he's going to want to try to prove something and stand and bang with Diaz. And that is not a guy you can stand and bang with. We've only seen Diaz be taken out by a TKO one time in his career. That was due to head kicks, Josh Thompson.
How mad are you?
I think that he will stand and bang, and Diaz will win the war of attrition and continue to come forward and possibly win a TKO or a decision. However, if George uses his fight AQ and actually has a smart fight, he could definitely win against Nate Diaz. I don't think he's going to win on the ground.
Right.
And I don't think he's necessarily going to win a bang battle in a long term, but I think he could get some takedowns. He could frustrate him. He could outstrike and move. But I think he's going to come in here and try to prove he's the baddest motherfucker in the game because that's what they've been talking about, and just come straight at him, and that's the war they're going to have. And when you do that against Nate Diaz, he is a guy that will hit you anywhere and everywhere. You have to make him miss and not have anything to hit, otherwise you will not win that fight.
Right.
That's why I'm taking Diaz.
How mad would you be if Nate takes it to the ground real quick?
And submits him?
Yeah.
Is he going to throw up the double birds again? Like he did against Kurt Pellegrino? Because that was amazing. Maybe people aren't talking about that. Remember those days?
Yeah.
Fucking just boop, triangle. And then he's like, guess what, motherfuckers? I did that shit. This guy was supposed to be a black belt.
Yeah,
I'm a blue belt at the time.
You guys all thought I was going to fight and shit. No. Choke him.
Yeah. Diaz all day, and Diaz we trust.
That's right. War Diaz.
That is your night of, that is your show. That is your weekend of fights. We will have a good one. We'll see you at the fight.
Later.
For real. Like for real?